What? What? I've never heard that before. That is so insane. What a cool history. What? That's pretty insane. That is so cool. See? That's what I'm talking about. What is up? Welcome back. Today we're reacting to a video titled 15 German brands you pronounce wrong. Felly from Germany. I know there's so many of these. As an American, we just get some of these things wrong. So I'm excited to see what these are about. What's up? My name's Aaron and this is Aaron on a Reacts. Through this channel, I'm discovering everything about Europe. The people, the culture, the sports, the music, the history. I want to know everything, and that is exactly what we're doing. I post videos every single day, so make sure you hit like and subscribe. You're going to see another video just like this in the future. Now let's get into these 15 German brands. Let's go.
Hey, have you seen my Adidas shoes? Your what shoes? Adidas, the brand? Oh, Adidas. Not sure. Maybe you've left them in the car? Oh, in your friend's Volkswagen? Huh? Volkswagen, the car brand? It's a German car brand. You should know that. Oh, VW. Okay.
Let's go.
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. German brand names that English native speakers often pronounce very differently than we do in Germany, and some of these brands you may not even realize that they're German. So I made a list of 15 German brand names that are typically mispronounced in English, and I'm going to tell you how they're pronounced correctly in German and also give you a little background information on some of them as well. First, of course, we have to talk about car brands because German cars are being sold all over the world. They're famous all over the world, and a lot of people talk about them or even own a German car.
All right, real quick, off the top of my head, I think I know how to pronounce some of these. I think Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, Audi. That's what I got. That's what I got. Let's go.
The first one is Audi. Most Americans that I know pronounce it like I just said it, Audi. In German, we say Audi. Audi. And there's actually a funny story as to where this name came from. In 1904, a guy called August Horch founded a car company called A. Horch und Company, Motoren Werke Zwickau, but a few years later he left the company and founded a new one. But he wasn't allowed to call it Horch again, and since that's not only his last name, but also means listen in the imperative form, he ended up translating it into Latin, and that's Audi. So Audi means listen. The company is located.
Okay, that's actually a really cool thing to know. I had no idea. Did you know that? It means listen, okay.
In Ingolstadt in Bavaria.
Ingolstadt.
Then, of course, one of the most famous car brands in the world is this one. It's located in Stuttgart, Germany.
We would say Porsche in America, we would say Porsche.
I've heard Americans pronounce it Porsche or Porsche. In German,
Porsche. I've never heard someone say that. Porsche. I think someone would say Porsche. Yeah.
We say Porsche. So there's like this short E sound in the end. Porsche. It was founded by Ferdinand Porsche in 1931 as a company for vehicle development work and consulting. And one of the first assignments that the company had was from the Nazi government at the time to design a car for the general public, which was what later would become Volkswagen. And so they designed the Volkswagen Beetle, the VW Käfer.
What? What? I've never heard that before.
This one sounded super funny to me when I first heard how people pronounce it in English. I actually used to drive one back in Germany. So most Americans call this Mercedes. In German, we pronounce it Mercedes. So Mercedes versus Mercedes. Mercedes. So it's really pretty different. And the full name, of course, is Mercedes-Benz. I've also heard that in England, people also refer to Mercedes as Merc. A German will not know what you're talking about if you say that, just for your information. Originally, it was just the company Daimler Motorengesellschaft, founded in 1890. The name Mercedes was added later, inspired by a Daimler car dealer called Emil Jelinek, who was also driving car races under the alias Monsieur Mercedes, which was based on his daughter's first name, Mercedes Jelinek. The name was later also used for one of the car models in the year 1900, and then eventually became the name of the brand itself.
Wow.
This one
Where does the Benz come from, though? She explained Mercedes, but what about Benz? Maybe I just missed it there, but I don't think she said.
It simply has 3 letters, but of course they're pronounced differently in English and in German. In English, people say BMW. In German, we say BMW because W is pronounced W in German, and it stands for Bayerische Motoren Werke, which means Bavarian Engine Works. And of course, BMW is located in my hometown, Munich, which is the capital of Bavaria. The company was founded in 1916 and originally mainly produced aircraft engines. It's said that the logo represents a plane propeller, and it also has the colors of Bavaria, blue and white, to show the company's origin. Then after World War I, they survived by producing motorcycle engines, farm equipment, household items, and railway brakes, and built their first motorcycle in 1923, and then became a car manufacturer a few years later.
That is so insane. What a cool history. By the way, it seems like Bavaria and this southern part of Germany produces all these vehicles. What do my other German friends think of that? The non-Bavarian and southern Germans. What do you think of this? I'm sure there's a huge, I know throughout Germany, there's just this huge rival between, how do you call them? Districts or regions? Regions. Let's say regions. So I'm curious. Is there a rivalry here?
They then went back to concentrating on aircraft engines again during World War II, using forced labor from prisoners in concentration camps, and didn't get back into car manufacturing until 1952. Overall, all of these German car brands that I just mentioned are more or less considered luxury brands in the US. Porsche, of course, is considered a luxury brand in Germany as well, but Audi, Mercedes, and BMW are pretty much just regular car brands to us. Obviously, they do have expensive luxury cars as well, but the regular models are driven by people from all social classes in Germany.
I would say all four of those brands are considered pretty high end. I would say the one that's more like in the middle in the US would be Volkswagen. I drove a Passat. I don't know how you say it in German. Passat. I drove a Passat for a long time, actually. It's a really, really lovely car. I really enjoyed it. I really like Volkswagen because of this, but the other brands, BMW, Mercedes, and how do you say Porsche? Porsche. I already forgot how she pronounced it, but anyways, those 3 are definitely considered luxury.
English speakers call this Volkswagen, while in Germany we usually just call it VW, VW. But even if we did go by the full name, it would be pronounced Volkswagen and not Volkswagen. So just imagine that it was spelled with an F and V instead. Volkswagen. This literally means people's car or car of the people, and it was founded during the Third Reich in the late 1930s because Hitler wanted to have a car that was affordable for middle-class Germans and that met the needs of an average family. So this was his attempt to make cars something that wasn't only available to upper-class people, but to the general public. And
I had no idea actually about that.
The company is based in Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg. Okay, so here we go. We talked about Bavaria having these cars, and now we have Volkswagen, VW, coming from the north of Germany. So this is getting interesting.
Now let's move on to something other than cars. So this is one of the brands where, when I heard Americans say this for the first time, I didn't understand at all what they were referring to, because they usually pronounce it Adidas, and in Germany we say Adidas. Adidas, Adidas. Super different. It's the second largest sportswear manufacturer in the world after Nike, and I don't think that a lot of people know that this is a German company. It also has an interesting backstory. It was founded by Adolf Dassler, whose nickname was Adi, so the brand name is based on his first and last name, Adi Das. He founded the company at his mother's house after he returned from World War I, and he actually played a big role in developing spiked running shoes. In 1924, his brother Rudolf joined the company, and they founded the Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory, but they later got into a fight, split up, and his brother actually founded his own company called Puma, which...
What? That's pretty insane. The Dassler brothers. Adidas and Puma
became the biggest rival of Adidas, so both Adidas and Puma are German brands.
Wow, okay. How did the name Puma come about, though? Do you know the origin? I'd love to hear that, too.
Another shoe manufacturer that many Germans would probably consider very, very German. Like if you talk about something typically German, Birkenstock is definitely going to be mentioned.
Birkenstock. Okay, we say Birkenstock. Yeah.
But of course, this brand is known all over the world nowadays, and it's natural that people pronounce it with their native accent. So English speakers usually say Birkenstock. In German, we say Birkenstock. Birkenstock, Birkenstock, which literally translates to birch stick. The roots of the company go all the way back to the 18th century, by the way.
Whoa, that's awesome. 18th century. That is so cool. Where was this one founded? She didn't mention which region or city this one was founded in. I'd be curious. Birkenstock. Birkenstock? Yeah.
From shoes to alcohol, this is pronounced Jägermeister in German. Jägermeister. English speakers usually say Jägermeister, which is pretty much the same, just with a pretty thick accent. And people also often use the abbreviation Jäger, like, can I have a shot of Jaeger, please? It literally means hunt master. Jäger is the
Oh, that's cool. Hunt master. Okay.
hunter, and Meister is
Wait, hold on.
please. It literally means hunt master. Jäger is the hunter, and Meister is master, and it's a German herbal liquor.
That's cool.
This is a German grocery store. You can also find them in other European countries, and they even have some stores in the US. I usually get the majority of my groceries at Aldi here in the US. In Germany, we call stores like Aldi or Lidl discounters because they sell groceries for very low prices. In English, people usually pronounce this Aldi. I think I've also heard Aldi.
We would say, where I'm from in Georgia, we would say Aldi or Aldi. Aldi. Maybe Aldi.
Before, but I think most people say.
It's funny. We would say, like, we're going to Aldi's. Like, we're going to Aldi's. And for some reason, why do we put an S on there? I guess for the possessive case of English, but I'm trying to think why we would add the anyway. Maybe it's just how we talk. We would say, "I'm going to Aldi's," and that means you're going to this grocery store.
Say Aldi, or they also sometimes add an S that isn't there in the end.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And say Aldi's. In Germany, we just say Aldi. It has its origins in 1945 when the two brothers Theo and Karl Albrecht took over their mother's corner store and came up with the concept of having a small selection while having low prices. The name Aldi comes from Albrecht Discount, so Albrecht, which is their last name, discount. In Germany, we have Aldi Süd and Aldi Nord.
Oh, interesting. So Aldi South, Aldi North.
Aldi South and Aldi North. Again, this is because of two brothers splitting up into two different businesses. In the US, the store is simply called Aldi, and it actually belongs to Aldi South, while the store Trader Joe's belongs to Aldi North.
What? Trader Joe's. I'm telling you right now, Trader Joe's for a lot of people is like, there's something mysteriously weird about it, to be honest. Like, people are addicted to Trader Joe's. It's like a cult following, kind of.
Now let's move on to cosmetics. Nivea is a German brand from Hamburg that's mainly known for its face lotion in the little blue container, but of course they offer a large variety of products nowadays. Again, I find the English pronunciation pretty funny here. English native speakers usually say Nivea.
Nivea? I've never heard that. I would say Nivea. Yeah.
Nivea. In German, we say Nivea. Nivea. So the emphasis is on the E. Nivea. This is a German hair cosmetics brand that you can find all over the world pretty much. In German, we pronounce it Schwarzkopf, which literally means black head. Schwarzkopf. English native speakers usually pronounce it Schwarzkopf or Schwarzkopf or something along those lines. Deutsche Bank is the largest bank in Germany. Deutsche Bank also literally means German bank.
German bank.
Of course, you can find Deutsche Bank not only in Germany, but in other countries as well. A good friend of mine here in Cincinnati actually just did an internship with them in their New York City location. And she's also going to start a full-time job with them soon. And Americans usually pronounce it Deutsche Bank or something along the...
Wait, hold on real quick. I think Deutsche Bank had some issues. I don't know if it was just in America, but I thought they closed in the United States. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I know there was some kind of financial issue with Deutsche Bank, I believe.
along those lines. And my friend always uses the abbreviation Deutsch when she refers to it. So like she said, I got a job offer from Deutsch, which is just really funny to me because that literally just means German. This is a German manufacturer of high-end domestic appliances, and it's not exactly pronounced wrong in English, but English native speakers usually say something like Miele, Mila. So it usually sounds more like an A in the end, whereas in German we say Miele. Miele. So the last letter is just a little bit different. And Miele really does stand for quality. If you invest in a Miele dishwasher or washing machine, you just know that it's going to be a good product and it's going to last. This is something that everyone knows and loves, hopefully. Maybe not everyone knew that Haribo is actually German. We pronounce it Haribo. Haribo.
Haribo. Haribo.
And again, the name originates in the name of the founder of the company, which was Hans Riegel, and he was from the city of Bonn in Germany. So Hans Riegel from Bonn, and he always took the first two letters, put them together, and it became Haribo. Hans Riegel Bonn. Haribo. And last but not least, let's talk about a company that is not doing super well during these times, but it's one of the largest companies in Germany and second largest airline in Europe. And maybe you've flown with them before. In English, people usually say Lufthansa.
Lufthansa. Lufthansa. That's how someone would say it where I'm from. Lufthansa. Lufthansa would be German, I think. Great airline, by the way. Maybe this was 5 years ago, so I guess it was right after or during the COVID crisis. Maybe that's why it was having troubles, because all airlines did. But Lufthansa is a really nice airline. Oh my gosh, it's really nice.
But in German, we say Lufthansa. So the emphasis is on the first syllable, Lufthansa versus Lufthansa. And that was the last brand name on my list. So now
insane, really insane. German brands are all over the world. I really enjoyed hearing about Audi, Audi Sud, Audi Nord, and Trader Joe's. I had no idea that came from that. Also, Adidas and Puma. I still would like to hear the origin story behind the name Puma because it doesn't sound German at all. Adidas, yeah, that sounds pretty German to me. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I post videos every single day, so you're gonna keep seeing me around. There's so much more to discover. So if you have any video recommendations for me, make sure you drop those down below. If you wanna get a deeper dive into my week, I post a newsletter every single Friday, just recapturing what's going on in my life, share some pictures, and just give you more insight into who I am. So if you want to check that out, that is down below. I also started a Patreon account that is for background of my life, background of these reactions, my travel across Europe, and my life with my European fiance. It's pretty exciting. We have a lot going on, really. So yeah, if you want to check that out, that's down below. As always, I give a shout out to my channel members. Channel members, you mean the world to me. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey and supporting me on this journey. It really means the world. I hope all of you have the best day wherever you're watching this and whenever you're watching this, and I hope to see you in the very next video. Cheers.